We're getting loaded.
We are getting loaded, Jeff. We are definitely getting loaded. Absolutely loaded. Yes, well, I think our 15-second delay should be good. Let's go ahead and light this candle. There we go. Three, tres, dos, uno. Blast off. Yeah, baby. Woo. Seems like it's a little bright in here. Let's turn down the lights, make it a little more romantic, huh? Well, hey, welcome to the Cosmic Cafe Show, where the paranormal is normal. Is that like my best Bela Lugosi voice? Maybe, but maybe not. Hey, this being episode number 91, or 91 for you non-Latin speaking. Yes, Jeff, you keep pointing at my glasses. These are my new non-reflective glasses. I
Really? Because they're
have waiting
reflecting all the
in the
hell.
bullpen Senor Jeff Krause, but he's got to wait another 30 seconds for me to let you all know that today is a fresh new episode of the Daily Specials because it is March 9th, 2016. And hey, did I say? Oh, yes, I did say what episode this is. Can you believe that? 91 episodes. Just 9 more episodes to number 100. Yes, indeed. And what are we going to do for episode number 100? Well, who knows? We might get crazy. We might give something away. We might do something for one lucky viewer, or maybe several lucky viewers, or several lucky guests. Sorry, Jeff is cracking me up. That bastard is doing some stuff right now. Well, as y'all know, we have Jeff Krause hanging out on the sidelines. Jeff is,
Yeah.
let's see here. What are we doing? I don't know. Jeff, you were here like 2 weeks ago. It was Leap Day when you were here, February 29th. How are you?
I'm well. Thank you. It's good to be back on again. Thanks for having me.
Thank you.
And gosh, I every time we just have such a great show, and tonight's not going to be any exception at all. We got a lot planned for tonight.
Okay, the way you kind of said that, I was thinking tonight's show would suck, but no, that's
Oh,
not
yeah.
possible.
It'll suck greatness right
It'll
out of the universe and into us.
it'll
Okay?
it'll suck great, or it'll greatly suck. No, that's wrong.
Let's leave that alone now.
Let's leave that alone and jump over tonight's
Moving right along.
paranormal news. We'll get the news done today, so that way we can get moseying along to your stuff, because you have the top 3 UFO incidents and like really hot stuff. So we definitely want to make time for you tonight. I'm going to move your image down a little bit. There we go. That way we're not cutting off your head. All right,
That
so
way I
hey,
can
for
look over and
today's
see the news.
top paranormal headlines, MUFON investigator. Yes, Mutual UFO Network investigator. Mutual
Reading the news. I'm
UFO.
looking over at the news.
Huh?
I'm looking over the edge at the news there.
Yeah, that's right. We put you on top. I could put you on the bottom. I could move your name down so it's not right in the middle of your eyes.
Then I'd have to look up at the news, and that's no good.
Look up to the news. Hey, today's top story. Before we get to those crazy paranormal headlines, thanks to our friends over at America's Most Haunted for posting this amazing time-lapse photo. It's raining stars over the... What the heck did you do with your video? You know, everybody can see that, Jeff. Leave your clothes on. All right, it's raining stars over the Blanco telescope. And of course, they got some other really cool pictures in relation to that, but it looks like the hillside's on fire, and I mean, that is one badass photo. So that made my top today, and that is thanks to America's Most Haunted. Usually they do paranormal hauntings, poltergeist stuff, but I guess they saw this photo and just loved it just as much as I did. So thanks to those guys and gals over there for that. Hey, next up on our Space and UFOs category, we have, thanks to NASA SLS, for posting the winners of future concepts, which will further propel NASA's Journey to Mars project, and they have some pretty interesting things there. But in the interest of time, I shortened it by not teasing you with any more. I'm just going to provide the full article link in tomorrow morning's email, the Daily Specials Recap, which is absolutely free to you. I'm starting to get choked up. Do I need water? Do I need vodka? No. I need pizza. So, I don't know if that was so smart to actually try and eat pizza while doing the show. By the way, we do have Jeff is monitoring the chat room, as well as I believe your Facebook and your Twitter account. So if you're watching this live right now, jump over to our chat room, ccslive.chat. Again, I'm sorry, ccs.chat. ccs.chat. See, it's so short, so simple. Instead of .com, it's .chat. So, pizza is delicious. Yeah, maybe I'll have another bite, but let me get through the aliens and extraterrestrials category tonight. Hat tip, no pun intended, to the Others Report for once again tweeting out a really awesome story. And this this person in Winnipeg, Canada, were they abducted by aliens? Is this perhaps maybe clumsy drunkenness? Well, regardless, what is true is a Y-shaped, peace dude, Y, peace. All right, anyways. A Y-shaped bleeding incision on top of their head is indeed very alien. So we'll just leave that at that. But that's pretty interesting. Well, hey, from our Not a Real Sponsor category tonight, we have the neighbor's old... Somebody in the chat room already posted that guy shouldn't have pissed off his wife. If you just joined us, breaking news: man pisses off wife. We've never heard a story like that before. All right, back to our Not a Real Sponsor. The neighbor's old Xmas tree. Yes. Happens if you're a regular viewer of the show. You know I've been, outraged since the first few weeks in January. Indeed, Jingle Bells, Oh Tannenbaum, and all that other holiday nonsense at this point of year. Bah humbug! And bah humbug to my neighbor who insists on leaving their crappy old burnt out Christmas tree that doesn't even look this good. This picture I took back in January. It doesn't even look that good. I should update it with a new picture, but oh my. Well, anyways, please get your dang tree hauled away, will ya? My goodness gracious. All right, and so for our abduction experiencers category tonight, what's that I hear? Crickets?
Chirp.
Chirp, chirp, chirp,
Chirp.
chirp. Crickets.
Chirp.
Well, nobody was abducted last night except for maybe that guy with that big old Y thing in the top of his noggin. So we get to listen to the sweet, charming sounds of crickets and Jeff Krause chirping like a cricket and posting in the chat room like a cricket. Oh gosh. Well, anyways, thanks to the crickets, we can move on. Oh god, what? Oh jeez, I forgot all about this one. Well, for our Bigfoot, Sasquatch, Yeti category tonight. Oh gosh, OMG, as the girls would say. A female Yeti, thanks to Kim Chi. That's Kim Chi's name on Twitter. Yes, thanks to Kim Chi for posting this. Maybe I should eat some pizza. Just, then I'll just... Pizza, Jeff? You want some pizza?
I can't eat and look at her at the same time. Sorry.
For some reason, your Skype video is not showing up.
Yeah, why?
There we
it is.
go.
You turned me back on. That's why. No.
And
What the heck?
Now you turned back off. Why do I have so much trouble with your Skype video feed?
NSA's on to me, dude.
I don't know. That's weird. It's really getting annoying, and I got to get this whole Skype issue resolved here very soon. Okay, so anyways, according to Kim Chi's post, and I shall quote verbatim, bad grammar and all, my look as a Yeti cosplaying, or cosplaying, whatever, that's the word that she used, a lion who's dressed up like an Asian man in a wig. Unquote. You know, I don't know if I should have taken that bite of pizza. And for Ghosts and Hauntings and Poltergeist tonight, thanks to our friends over at Uber Facts, they posted this very spooky detail tonight about it. You know what? I never knew that animals had ghosts. I mean, I know humans have ghosts, right? We have our spirit, and it turns into a ghost if we get trapped here on the ethereal plane. But animals apparently have ghosts as well, because some researchers, I like to get the quotey things out for researchers. So some researchers who are probably no doubt overly paid by some government grant program, they found this adorable ghost-like octopod. Where's my cricket sound?
I watched the video of that thing earlier, and I thought it was pretty cool.
I'm sure it is.
Especially the scientists' reaction to seeing it for the first time. Because really, a lot of them were watching the live feed, and they were just falling out of their chairs to see a new species. Might even be a new genus of octopi.
Yeah, that's what they're saying. And they also knew that the video camera was rolling. All right, that's it for our daily specials headlines today. We got Jeff back. Hey, Jeff back.
Howdy.
Howdy. Howdy. How y'all doing over there in Slow?
I'm fine as frog hair, Cletus.
All right, that's a very special. I should go get my Billy Bob teeth, and then I can really make the whole experience even better.
Please. We've got to be the only UFO/comedy act in existence, I swear to Buddha.
I sure hope so. I swear to Allah, I sure hope so. Uh-oh. We probably just pissed off half the planet right there.
Yeah.
Between the Buddhists and the Muslims.
Well, we at least pissed off the Christians by not acknowledging them, but,
Uh-oh.
Oh, well.
We just pissed off like 99% of the planet.
We'll let their desert sky god take care of them, okay?
Dear goodness, I hope that nobody watches this episode tonight. And it's just
Ever.
you, me, and... Huh?
Ever.
While I'm pissing off everybody, I'll just go ahead and take another bite of my pizza, because everybody loves pizza. And
eating's always good on air.
Yeah, what? I find it most effective. In fact, what I should do is ask you to explain what we're going to be looking at tonight, and while you're explaining, I'm going to eat.
Well, it's a cafe, and people eat at a cafe. So go ahead, feel free. Just don't chew with your mouth open, and we'll be fine.
What did you say?
Tonight, tonight, what I'm going to talk about is my opinion of the top 3 cases in ufology and why I feel that they are so important. So, whenever you're ready to kick it off, I can go ahead and start with the first one.
Well, let's do it.
Yeah.
There
I'm sure everyone's tired of waiting.
Yeah.
Is it any surprise that Roswell is my number 1 pick? And
I was totally surprised. I thought for sure it was going to be Rendlesham.
Well, that's a tough one. But the reason that I think Roswell is the most important case...
Actually, you know which one I thought it was going to be, in all honesty? I thought it was going to be Ruben Uriarte Noe Torres's The Mexican Roswell. That's what I thought it was going to be.
That is another astounding case, very credible.
Yes.
But again,
Much
there's
better
reasons
than that.
why these cases we're talking about tonight are ahead of those. And yes, those are current cases. Do not think for one instant that I am giving them any less credit. I am not. All the cases in ufology are fascinating. Okay,
No, they're not.
And let me reiterate. This
No,
is
really.
my
No, they're
view on
not.
the top cases and my opinion.
Okay.
The good cases are, Eric.
Okay, the good cases are definitely fascinating.
Yeah.
Not all cases, though.
Joe
Some of them were like,
Lights
"Eh,
in the
I
sky
saw-
last week. Yeah,
I
adios.
saw
I don't-
some like flashing thing, and it went like through the clouds, and it disappeared."
That's about 95% of the cases that come into MUFON, what you just stated there.
With that accent?
Well, no, because people don't speak when they're filing their reports. They fill out a form online.
Well, they're not supposed to talk with their mouth full like I did also.
Especially not. Bad etiquette, sir. However, most of the cases that do come into MUFON are simple misidentifications and misunderstandings of what people are seeing.
By the way, Monty's screeches are coming through your microphone.
Even with this little dinky mic. Okay. Well, I might have to put him on my shoulder in a bit to quiet him down. We'll see.
Just so everybody knows, Jeff has a super awesome parrot named Monty, and Monty likes to get on cam, and he's probably ticked off and jealous right now that he's not on cam.
He's a little bit hurt because he's in his cage, and I didn't want him eating anything and interrupting the show. So
or pooping on your shirt while you're doing the show.
Then there's that.
But that makes for great television, by the way.
Yeah, well, standards and practices, I guess, might not appreciate that, but what the heck.
Hey, I'm in charge of standards and practices at the cafe.
That's right. You're the head
We're
waiter.
very casual here. If you want to let your bird poop on your shoulder, you just go ahead. It's okay at the cafe. Just saying, by the way.
Okay, then. So going back to my number one pick.
You're welcome to let your bird poop on your shoulder anytime at the cafe. Or your hat. If it wants to poop on your hat.
Yeah. He don't care where.
Yeah, that's true.
Wherever.
I had a parrot for a while. Okay, so should we move on to the next slide?
Oh, are we talking about Roswell? Oh, yeah. No, first let me tell you about the reason why I think this is the number one all-time case. Because this is the case that opened the lid for all the other cases. Mm-hmm. This is the big one that got everyone interested, that we discovered certain facts from, leading to other facts. And really, it's what told us that there was a secret being kept and that there was an organization in charge of the secret. It all is thanks to Roswell right here. And the photo we have here is the newspaper that was published on July 8th, 1947, when the Roswell Army Airfield announced through their public information officer, Walter Haut, that they had indeed captured a flying saucer. Mm-hmm. So how much more important can you get than that? You're not going to see those headlines maybe ever again.
No.
Anything such as that would not be in the press today, that's for sure.
Yeah.
So that was a pretty big thing. Got to consider the time, everything going on, the state of the world, the state of our country then. This was one of the preeminent, most important cases in ufology ever. And it still is to this day. The only reason why people are losing interest in it is because the witnesses are dying off.
Yeah.
There aren't that many witnesses anymore. So, of course, the interest in the appeal is drawing to a close because there's no one left to talk about it, except for second generation and third generation witnesses.
Yeah.
So it's losing a little bit of appeal. But for those of us that really have studied ufology and a lot of the cases, it still has a special place that I doubt will ever go away. Go ahead and hit the next slide.
No. Not going to do it.
Okay, don't.
Oh,
you weren't lying. You're not going to. This here is a famous photo, of course, which pretty much sums up the government's treatment of the Roswell affair and every UFO incident afterwards. And in the right side of the photo is Major Jesse Marcel, who was the head of the 509th Bomb Group Intelligence Unit. He was one of the smartest people there in the service, and yet he was made to pose with the wreckage of a weather balloon, giving the public the idea that he couldn't tell the difference between a bunch of sticks and foil and a flying saucer, which just wasn't the truth. And having met his grandchildren, Jesse and Denise, and talking with them extensively, I know that that look he has right there, according to them, is his "you've got to be kidding" look. And he reserved it for occasions when just shenanigans were pulled beyond belief. Go ahead and hit the next one.
Okay.
Please, sir, if you'd be so kind. This memo here, now, you know, I could talk and do more than one show on the Roswell incident alone, but we're just trying to highlight a few of the top cases and give some good reasons behind why I think they're so important.
Yeah.
This Guy Hoddle FBI memo, I think, is very important. And of course, it might be hard for viewers to read now, but I'm going to trust you to put it up on your website at the end of the show.
Don't trust me.
I shouldn't, even with anything. You're right.
I would rather have them go to your Facebook page or to your blog page and make sure they get the full version there.
Absolutely. And it's, if you Google it, it's real easy to find on the internet as well. But it's a very telling memo, and there is no reason whatsoever to doubt its authenticity. It has been gone over by top researchers and validified. Now, yes, there are a lot of debunkers that say this couldn't be possible and they didn't do this and they didn't do that. But, you know, that's the debunkers for you, and they would complain if you gave them the best evidence in the world. And very few of them actually bother to research the points they bring up. So, to me, I feel that the Hoddle memo is very important and a key piece of evidence in confirming the Roswell happenings, everything that occurred there back in 1947. Now, I included some video with you tonight, and it's a few minutes of Jesse Marcel explaining what he saw there. So I'm going to shut up for a minute and let you play the video, because I think he could say it a lot better since he was there.
Well, before we play the video, what I'd like to do is, for anybody tuning in here a little bit late, they're watching us on the live stream. It is 6:25 p.m. Pacific Standard, 9:25 Eastern. I am speaking with Jeff Krause. He's the state director with MUFON, the Mutual UFO Network, and he's also a field investigator. We are talking about the top 3 incidents of all time for UFO incidents. But most importantly, Jeff is in our chat room. So if you go to ccs.chat, Jeff and I are both monitoring the chat room. If you have a question for Jeff, or you have a comment, or you think Jeff's on drugs, or you think I'm on drugs, because I am on drugs, you're welcome to tell us that. I'm on Advil drug. And anyways, okay. Jeff's not laughing. He must be reading the chat room.
I was checking chat room, Twitter, and Facebook to see if we had anyone commenting. Oh, here we go. Here's the video. I'll shut up.
Looked like it was weightless. You couldn't feel
I'll
you
eat
had anything
pizza.
in your hands. I found one piece of metal, what looked like metal anyway. It was not flexible, but it was as thin as a foil in a pack of cigarettes. It was that thin. One of my boys told me, he said, there's something unusual here. He said, I tried to make a dent in this metal. He said, you can't bend it. You can't make a mark on it. He says, I took a sledgehammer and whammed it. I put it on the ground and whammed it. The sledgehammer bounced off of it. He told me not to say anything. He says, I'll handle it from now on. And that's exactly what he did. When he came out, he said, he told the press that was there, he said, that was nothing but a weather balloon, crashed weather balloon. It was definitely not a weather balloon. And it was an aircraft. So what it could have been, I wouldn't know. I still don't know. They took pictures, of course. They had a whole flock of microphones there. They wanted me they wanted some comments from me, but I wasn't at liberty to do that. So all I could do is keep my mouth shut. And General Ramey is the one who discussed, told the newspapers, the newsmen, what it was and to forget about it. It was nothing more than a weather observation balloon. Of course, which we both knew differently. We left Roswell perhaps around 3:30 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon, you can see it's flat. It is very difficult. In fact, with just verbal directions, we never would have found it. We had to follow the rancher out there. The following morning, we went out to the site where the crash was. And what I saw, I couldn't believe there was so much of it. It was scattered over such a vast area. So we proceeded to pick up as much of the debris as we could, loaded in a wagon. We filled that up. It took us a good part of the day to do that, because there were such small fragments that we had to do a lot of picking. We found a piece of metal about a foot and a half to 2 feet wide and about 2 or 3 feet long. Felt like you had nothing in your hands. It wasn't any thicker than the foil out of a pack of cigarettes. But the thing about that got me is that you couldn't even bend it. You couldn't dead it. Even with a sledgehammer would bounce off of it. So I knew that I had never seen anything like that before. And as of now, I don't know what it was. It was not anything from this earth that I'm quite sure of. Because I was being an intelligence officer, I was familiar with just about all materials used in aircraft and in our air travel. This is nothing like that. It could not be. It could not have been.
Okay. Wow.
Pretty telling information there, huh? And that's from the guy made to pose in the photo with the foil and the sticks. So you could just blow that photo out and know it for the disinformation it is.
Right.
And this photo you have up right now, that's his granddaughter, Denise Marcel, very dear friend of mine. You were there.
Yeah, I
think that was an awesome day.
I might have taken that picture. I know I took. Huh?
It was either you or Jim that took that photo. So yeah, you might have.
That was a good day.
Very good. And we heard from right out of her mouth the stories about her grandfather and her father and when he brought the wreckage home that night. So, you can't really get a better source for a case like this than a living relative that knows all the information and knows how the people reacted at the time when they had to go through these events.
What's amazing is Denise and her brother Jesse are both just extremely nice, extremely giving people, and they just sorry about that, the thing. Yeah, I've met her personally and talked with her several times, and I've talked with Jesse several times. Haven't met him personally yet, face to face, but certainly have had long conversations, and yeah, they're just incredible people, just really super nice. And
absolutely
they're a rare find within our community. I just go out and be bold like that. They're rare like you, Jeff, and like Ruben and some of the other really giving people that just really give of their heart. So
absolutely. And I hate to go off tangent here for just a second, but you touched on a subject, the giving people in ufology. And I just want to say real quickly that we lost one of those people last week. Our friend Ed Grimsley passed away. For those of you that don't know Ed, Ed was an advocate of the Skywatch. He had always showed up at events, every event around the country. You'd see him in his motorhome there and his brown bag full of night vision goggles. And Ed was the kind of guy with a real big heart. He would hand anybody a $2,500 pair of night vision goggles and let him check it out. And, you just can't find people like that every day. No. Ed had a wealth of information and a heart as big as the world, and he's going to be sorely missed in ufology. So I just wanted to throw that out there, that we're always going to be remembering Ed and thinking of him at every event.
Absolutely.
Well, now you're giving a little bit of a giveaway here.
Uh-oh. Well, you gave me the slide, so.
Yeah, this might be in just a little bit of the wrong order, but we'll take it from here. This is Dr. Lynn Kitai and I at Contact in the Desert back in 2014. And for those of you that don't know Dr. Lynn, she is the largest advocate of the Phoenix Light incidents that there is. She has the most information on it of anybody on the planet. And she also runs Phoenix Lights Network. Okay. You can find all the information about the incident at www.phoenixlights.net. And wonderful website, loads of information there. I'm only going to be touching a little bit on the Phoenix Lights incident now because in a couple weeks we're going to be doing a show with Dr. Lynn as a guest along with me.
Oh, awesome.
And, we're going to have some
Where
really,
are you doing that
really
show?
good information. We're going to be doing it with you right here, I believe, on the Cosmic Cafe show.
I felt that go in my eye.
I was 80. But I believe Dr. Lynn has some new information, new things that have come to light recently that
really?
She'd be willing to discuss with us on that night. So I'm really looking forward to it.
CCS.chat, my friends.
That's right.
You can watch the show and you can get in the chat all right there, CCS.chat.
That's right.
I've made it so easy for you. It's ridiculous.
Even I could do it.
Even Monty could do it.
It's that easy. It's that easy. Even I could do it. For those of you that don't know the Phoenix Lights incident that well, on March 13th, 1997, the largest mass sighting of a UFO in history occurred. It's estimated that over 60,000 people witnessed this event over the city of Phoenix, Arizona.
Yeah.
Dr. Lynn Kitai put together the documentary on the incident, but what very few people know is that that wasn't the first incident that Dr. Kitai filmed. On February 6th, let me check my notes here real fast. February 6th, I believe it was 1995. Yeah, February 6th, 1995. She filmed 3 orbs from her home, from the balcony of her home, a couple of which came extremely close to her. And she got quite a bit of very good video footage of them and photographs. Ooh. So that was the first incident that she caught. But then on July 23rd, 1997, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, yes, there was another incident in Phoenix where she got some great pictures there as well. And that preceded the mass sighting by a few months, actually. Well, 8-10 weeks around there.
Okay.
But then March 13th, when the big sighting came, there was no denying what it was because many people saw such a large craft going overhead. Some people only saw the lights. Some people saw the lights and an outline of something above it. Other people saw clearly a V-shaped craft.
So question for you, Jeff.
Yes.
Since we're on that topic now, first of all, is it in the order of, is it number 2 or number 3 as far as your top 3 for tonight, or are we just kind of gone on a tangent?
No, this is number 2.
Uh-huh.
And, you know, all these cases have merit and can be at the top of their type of case. Okay. Really. The first case is probably the best example of a crash UFO. Mm-hmm. This, in my opinion, is the best example of a mass sighting of a UFO.
So question.
Yes.
When it went over, when you say people saw like a craft going overhead, so how did they know there was a craft that went overhead? Well, I believe it depended on your vantage point in the area and what kind of lighting you had to help backlight the object. Uh-huh. Some people only saw lights, and they didn't know if there was a craft above it or not. Mm-hmm. Other witnesses clearly saw a craft that they were able to describe. And it was a larger V-shaped craft. Okay. Now, in the photo that you have up right now, it could have been an even larger craft. It could have been a disc. It could have been smaller crafts flying in a formation. The interesting thing about this photo here, and it's been analyzed, I think I might have supplied you before with some video analysis of it. If not, I will on the next show. But the way that the lights hovered over the town for a long period of time without descending at all, without wavering or anything like that, showing trails of smoke, it completely rules out the Air Force's bullcrap statement that it was flares. Everyone knows that's not the truth, especially the witnesses there. But not only that, the Native Americans in the area were kind of like ho-hum about the whole incident because they had seen that throughout their recorded history many times. It was nothing new to them.
especially in that area of the Estrella mountain range. So
I guess where I was going, maybe you can verify then if somebody actually testified in one of their accounts. If you have a large object going over your head at night, one way to know for sure how big it is how much it blocks out the stars. If you can't see the stars, then it's clearly an object blocking
Correct.
your view. And so that's how you would be able to see kind of the silhouette shape of the object and how big. And maybe you can elaborate on that. I know I've heard
That's a
some
very
stories.
good point. That's a very good point. And some people could see that the stars were blocked out by it, but yet other witnesses reported it was sort of translucent and they could see the stars through it, but yet still see the shape.
Maybe
So
they were
again,
seeing the
I
city
think it
lights
depends.
reflecting underneath.
Possibly, but I doubt that. When you see stars in the sky and something moves and the star's still there, you know that's not a reflection after the object goes by. You know that you were seeing through the object and seeing the stars.
Well, I'm just saying the underbelly of the ship, it could have been blocking out the stars, but there's so many lights in Phoenix that could have been reflecting off the bottom, the belly of the ship, so they might have thought it was kind of translucent, thinking they're seeing stars, but they're just seeing like a reflection of the city lights.
I don't think so at all. Not in their
No.
accounts and not the way they described what they were seeing. I don't think that was it at all. I totally think it would rule out the city lights, especially that high up as the object was. It would really be a far reach of the imagination to think you could see a pinpoint reflection of light coming off it. A glow of ambient lighting, possibly, but a pinpoint in detail, I don't think that would be possible, no. But since we don't know what the craft was made of, what kind of technologies it had, what kind of fields were surrounding it, we can't rule out any possibilities like that. So perhaps it was something like that. We don't know.
Maybe
and until
it's,
we actually...
Cloaking,
Yes?
maybe its cloaking technology was acting up, and that's why it was showing up at all, is because they were having some malfunction problems, and who knows, maybe that ship is there quite frequently, but this time these times it was having some technical issues.
That's another possibility. And, these are questions that we don't have the answers to. It's speculation to guess anything like that.
Yeah.
All we can go on is the data that we have and the things that are available to us when we think about things like this.
Yeah.
But it does open up a whole world of possibilities. And
Should I go
any
to
one
the
of those things might be true.
Should we hit the next slide here?
Please. This is something I came across earlier today when I was looking for wonderful images to talk about on the show. And purportedly, this is a craft in production by Grumman Aircraft. Now, I find did I mention it uses anti-gravitic propulsion? Interesting.
That's very cool.
Not only that, though, it appears to be, well, the basic shape of what was seen over Phoenix. Is it what was seen over Phoenix? Does it really exist? Is it just an effort to throw out more disinformation and muddy the water?
Yeah.
These are things that we don't know. But it's very interesting to find something like this attached to the idea of it being built by the Grumman Aircraft Corporation.
Yeah.
Would this fit in with my previous show on the secret space program? Probably.
I would think so.
Will I try to get to the bottom of what this craft really is, the Telos? Yes. We'll be hearing more about this. This is something I just ran across, and I thought it fit in with tonight's show perfectly because it is something that looks like what people saw in the Phoenix Lights incident. Go ahead and hit the next slide. This is how the incident was treated. I guess I didn't include that photo of the alien with Fife Symington. Okay. We can skip that anyway. That was how the media treated the event, though, at the time. Governor Symington held a press
that douchebag.
the fake alien. And, of course, everyone laughed. But I find it very interesting that later Governor Symington came clean and admitted that he, too, had seen the craft and was quite puzzled as to what it really was.
Douchebag.
Well, I forgive him because of all the statements he's made since then in support of the incident. So,
but he hasn't gotten
played it wrong at the time, but he's made up for it since then, I think.
But you haven't seen all the cameras that he had at that time.
Yeah, I know.
Douchebag.
Well, politician.
Yeah.
Same thing.
Again, douchebag.
Same thing.
Same thing.
So
notice
what is
when you break down the name of politician, it's poly, which is Latin for many, and tick, which is something that gets on your dog.
Sucks blood out of it.
Sucks blood out of you. So they many blood sucking. Yeah. Anyways, all right. So next picture.
Very fitting.
Or do we talk about this one?
Yeah, we're going to talk about this one a lot because this is one of my favorite all-time cases.
Okay.
Pardon?
I said okay.
This is about the Rendlesham Forest incident.
Oh, the Rendlesham Forest incident. Okay.
On 3 nights, an object was seen over the Rendlesham Bentwaters bases in England. And I find the accounts of Larry Warren to be very credible. He was the original whistleblower on the event. And him and Peter Robbins wrote the book on Left at Eastgate on the whole incident. And it's not that they just popped out a book real quick after it happened. There was 10 years of investigation that went into this before the book came out. A lot of people don't realize just exactly the man hours that Peter Robbins put into the investigation on this, along with his co-author, Larry Warren. Not only that, a lot of people don't realize a lot of the heat that Larry put up with for coming forward on this. He's been called every name in the book. His credibility has been challenged. His veracity has been challenged. Everything about him has been challenged. Yet I find Larry to be a very credible and very good witness as to one of the major events in ufology. There's no doubt that something happened here. There's military documents that refer to the incident, and even an account that a general probably spoke to an extraterrestrial entity on one of the nights. So anyone, if you want to find out what really happened on that incident, I suggest you read Left at Eastgate. Nick Pope's book, Encounter at Rendlesham, is okay. I've met Nick. I know Jim Peniston and John Burroughs through chatting with them online. And I don't know what's up with that book, but I think it might have a little bit of disinformation in it. And it sure doesn't give credit where credit is due, which was to Larry Warren and Peter Robbins for all the groundbreaking work that they did on the subject. So I'm going to leave it at that. I'll let the viewers read and find out and come to an opinion on their own. But I do highly encourage you to investigate this case. And I think it's one of the more important cases of the 20th century. And it's very important because a lot of the witnesses are still alive. So that helps to lend the credence to it. You can still go somewhere and get accurate answers on what really happened there.
That was your case number 2, correct?
No, this is number 3. Phoenix Lights was number 2.
Oh, sorry.
This is the 3rd one, and we're not done with it yet. Next slide, please.
Before we go to the next slide, just for anybody that's just tuned in, I want to let you know that we are speaking with Jeff Krause. He's the MUFON, Mutual UFO Network State Director here in California. He's also a field investigator. He's an author of a periodical, which is resuming shortly with the Field Investigator's Guide. Isn't that correct?
The Field Investigator's Toolbox, yes.
Toolbox, yes, sorry.
That's all right.
The guide is the thing that you get when you become a field investigator, huh? So anyways, Jeff is sharing some time with us tonight and talking about these items. And Jeff has been here many times before, so if you like what Jeff's been talking about, he has some excellent shows that we've done in the past. And so I encourage you to go back through the YouTube archives for the daily specials and check them out. Absolutely. Jeff also has a really good Facebook page, so just find him on Facebook. You can find him. He's, we're connected to him through our page and all that. So just want to remind everybody, and we are talking about the top 3 UFO incidents of all time. And with that, I will pop over to the next slide.
And just a quick point on what you said there. Tonight I went into Burger King to get a burger.
Yeah.
And my friend Anna there said, "Oh, I watched your show on the Cosmic Cafe last night."
No way, really?
Finally caught the show,
awesome.
the Laguna Lake UFO.
Wow, that's great. Hi, Anna.
We're
Thank you
getting
for watching.
she's going to be watching this show. She gets off at like 1 in the morning, but she's going to catch this one in the archives.
Hey,
so we're
Anna?
building up some viewership.
Anna, I want to thank you personally as the host and producer of Cosmic Cafe Show. And if I could wield a little bit of influence, star power here, the next time Jeff pops by, what is it, Burger King you said?
Yeah.
Next time Jeff pops by the Burger King, would you do me a favor and would you please give him a glass of water? I'll be more than happy to pay for it. And also give him a few extra napkins in case he has Monty with him. He might need to, So anyways, I'll pay for it. Just send me the check, or just do it as a personal favor to the Cosmic Cafe. But thanks a lot, Anna, at the Burger King. And what city again? Where's that?
San Luis Obispo.
San Luis Obispo. What's the intersection? We should give her a shout out.
It's the only one.
Oh, it's the only one.
Los Valley Road.
Bravo.
We're a small town, Eric.
I know. I've been to San Luis several times. I just, I must have driven past it,
You did.
And I must, I didn't realize it was the only one in the town, So, all right. Well, anyways, thank you again, Anna.
So this handsome gentleman you have up on screen is Mr. Larry Warren. And he's there at the site of where this all came down in the Rendlesham Forest. And, Larry, he's a great guy. He's a musician, guitarist. So that's one thing we have in common.
I was going to say, you're a little biased there.
I am. I'll pick guitar players over anyone else any day of the week.
There you go.
However, Larry has been through the ringer. He has literally been through hell over this case. And I got to say, he's a stand-up guy. I find him very credible. And in fact, I've unfriended people from Facebook for talking schmack about Larry. So anyone, if you have whatever evidence you think, you better reevaluate it because Larry's been through the ringer. There's not much you're going to throw at him that he can't defend and stand up for. And he has a lot of fantastic information about one of the more important UFO cases in history. So again, read him and Peter Robbins' book, Left at Eastgate, if you'd like to find out exactly what went on there. And I'm sure it'll lead you to other books by Peter Robbins afterwards in defense of the investigation. He has some great ones online. There's Deception, which is a free publication you can get online. And I believe he has another one. The name of it escapes me right now, but I know there's another publication he put out recently. And it, too, is free through Phenomena Magazine and Steve Mira there in the United Kingdom. Okay. So check it out and look for it. Go ahead and roll the next photo real quick. It's of Larry and Peter Robbins, his co-author. There they are. And, one thing I got to say about Peter, he's got a fine hat. Doesn't it look like my hat? I swear to Buddha.
He looks a lot like the one actor of... Well, he looks like two different actors, actually. Anyways, maybe it's the hat. You're right.
Peter is a very fedora. Nice, very smart guy, and I respect his investigative talents.
He's also wearing a damn handsome lambskin bomber jacket, too. That's a very nice... I can tell the quality just looking at it.
UFOlogists are nothing if they're not fashionable, Eric. It's true.
Not like me.
But Peter has done some astounding work. He's a very, very good investigative journalist, one of the best in the field. And I feel that their book is the creme de la creme of the investigation into the Rendlesham Forest incident. So, again, check it out. Get it, buy it through Amazon, get it on your iPad, get it through ebooks, however you got to do it. But it's well worth a read, and it's one that every ufologist should have on their shelf, guaranteed.
Sounds good.
This is the East Gate there at Bentwaters Air Force Base. It's where it all started for Larry Warren. I'm sure if he could undo anything that ever happened, he would have just avoided going to that gate that night. But that's not the way it ended up.
Fate has funny things for you.
Doesn't it?
It does, indeed.
I think I included some more photos in this, though. Or is this the last one?
Una
Yeah,
mas
here
there.
we go. Okay. I'm glad I added these in. I almost didn't. This is Capel Green. It's the field where supposedly the UFO came down. Now, this isn't the same spot that Jim Peniston accounts where a triangular-shaped UFO came down in the forest. Do not confuse this incident with Jim Peniston's incident. This is a totally different incident in the same three-night group of incidents. Now, if you look over here in the photo, around the center of the photo off on the right side, you'll see a dark circular area right there.
Where'd you say it was?
In the center,
Uh-huh.
and on the right side in the field there, you'll see a dark circular area. No, that is not it. No, up above that to the right.
Up above that and to the right.
It's subtle. It's a subtle discoloration of a large area of the field there. Now you've got it. That's it. Okay, look at that discoloration right there, and it's darker and everything. And in the next photo, taken a few years later, a couple years later, by Peter Robbins on his return visit, you'll see that there's still an effect on the grass in the same area, but it's quite a different effect. Go ahead and hit the next picture.
Okay, hang on a second here. I got to deactivate my... There we go. Now we can hit the next picture.
Okay, now this is a composite photo.
Okay.
However, the area that you see in the green, where it's really green in that circle area, that is the same area that was discolored dark stain in the other photo.
Okay.
So as you can see, there is still 2 years later a profound effect on the area where the craft was reportedly landed.
Wow. That's pretty spooky.
Not only that, there was extensive soil analysis done on it.
Okay.
And, you know, when you go to so much trouble to gather so much evidence and it comes back stating the facts that it does, you got to really admire the person for the length of their investigation that they did. And like I said, this wasn't a book that just came out a couple months after the incident as a fly-by-night, let's see how much money we can get out of this tale kind of publication.
Yeah.
This was an effort of love and determination that took over 10 years. It was rolling a boulder uphill all the way for both Peter and Larry. So what they came up with, I think, is some of the most credible and best UFO evidence that you'll find in the field, which is why they garner so much respect from me and why this case, I feel, is so important because of the evidence that there is in support of it.
Gotcha.
Go ahead and hit the next slide, please, sir.
Un momento, por favor. All right, there we go.
This is a cover page of the laboratory that did the soil analysis. Now, keep in mind that Peter, by himself, went over to England and took the soil samples himself and then tried to come through the airport and bring them back to the United States, not really knowing what he was going to be going through until he attempted to do it. Fortunately for him, it wasn't in the age of Homeland Security, because who knows what kind of troubles he might have had then. And he did get a few raised eyebrows when he went through customs. Yeah, I'm bringing back some dirt. They had to look at the jars and everything, and then he explained what it was, and they whisked him right on through. But I thought it was kind of humorous that, he thought he'd just pack up some dirt from England and bring it on home, and we'll see what customs has to think about it. Didn't even think about that until the last
I miss the motherland so much. I want to bring some back with me.
Yeah. What must people think, if you're the customs agent? Oh, this guy has a soil sample.
I've seen
it's from
tourists.
What you say?
Not that soil.
Yeah.
I've seen tourists in California scoop up California sand and
oh,
take
sure.
it. Yeah.
Oh, sure. And we hunt them down and kill them for that, but don't worry.
Well, I'm not supposed to tell,
Oh, our trade secret's out. That's
Yeah.
right.
Oh, well.
Next slide, please.
There we go.
This is the soil report. Again, it's going to be too small for most people to read, so you're going to want to look at this later.
And go to Jeff's Facebook page, and you got it over there, as I recall.
It's going to take a little hunting to find it. I'll try and bring it up and make it a recent post again so people don't have to scroll through a million years of my history to find it.
There you go. Just republish the pictures.
I'll try and put everything tonight up so people can find it real easy.
There we go.
Yeah, why not make it easy for people? Why make up work for stuff? Come on.
Yeah, it's
very telling about the soil examples. I'm gonna give you layman's terms real quick because we don't have a lot of time left, and I want to impart the results of the soil analysis.
We also have a video.
That was left over from the Phoenix Lights, I believe. That's so another wacky. Phoenix Lights video. Footage of the lights. We can show that in closing, I think, because there's no sound with that whatsoever.
Okay.
But the soil, interestingly enough, very different from the surrounding soil. Whenever you take a soil sample for evidence, you don't just take the area in question. You also take soil surrounding and away from that area. Mm-hmm. So you have a test subject to compare the other soil to.
Yes.
Now, the other soil was quite normal. When you pour water on it, it would become mud quickly and retain the moisture. It would crumble apart normally like dirt does. It was soft to the touch. Whereas the soil inside the circle there, in the area where the craft landed, was dramatically different. First off, it seemed to be baked in some way. It was a lot drier and harder than the other surrounding soil. But what was really odd about it was you could pour water on, and Peter had paper plates. You got to love his high-tech lab equipment. Paper plates with the soil samples on it to show this fact that when you'd pour water on it, it wouldn't absorb the water at all. In fact, the water would beat up on top of the soil, and in most cases even run away. Wow. It would not affect the soil whatsoever. Huh. You could not get the soil muddy if you tried and your life depended on it. It totally repelled the water. Now, to be able to do that, it's got to have a different ion charge than the water, for one thing, because we know that the opposites attract and repel, and the way that the ionization works in soils and different waters and things.
Yeah.
So it must have been affected at the atomic level and changed the soil for it to repel water in such a fashion. I don't think there's too many instances of cases where you have this good of evidence on the soil. There are a few, but they're few and far in between where an analysis comes back that's this good.
So question.
Yes.
When they analyzed the soil, was the basic composition of the soil still the same? So, in other words, I mean, somebody didn't just bring in like some clay soil from, I don't know, the north part of wherever, 100 miles away or 1,000 miles away, and then like put it in and fake the whole thing. I mean, is the composition, the overall consistency composition the same, but it's just been like altered? That's what my question is.
For the most part, yes. There were some subtle changes in silicates and iron levels, but only what you would expect from a strong electromagnetic field being in the area.
Okay.
And it wasn't anything that you could fake. Okay. There were no results, nothing that you could plant. And it wasn't like clay as opposed to adobe or different types of soils or anything brought in. It was the same soil, just with a dramatically different effect that had happened to it.
Okay. Understood. Wow. That's phenomenal.
It really
I know people are going to love that. I know they're going to definitely. Maybe what you can do is when you import these pictures to your Facebook page, just put like today's date and Cosmic Cafe Show or something as a designation. So when they go to your albums, they just find it that way, real quick and easy.
Absolutely. Good idea.
Well, thank you. And then I'll also, if you share the album to Cosmic Cafe, then I'll go over there as Cosmic Cafe and share it to my page or something.
That sounds great. It's really too bad you had this idea this early in the month, because that was your good idea for the month. You're not going to have any more, I'm afraid.
Oh, well, it's such a good idea. It'll hold over, correct?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Well, let's look. You want to look at those that Phoenix Light video that we forgot to get to earlier?
Yeah, let's go ahead and play that, because this is some actual footage of the Phoenix Lights incident as it occurred.
Okay. And it's kind of covering us up a little bit there. Let me see if I can maybe... I can't really... I'll let it cover me up so you can... There we go. You can talk about it.
Well, slowly the lights come into play here. Okay? And, you know, my take on this is you see the curved arc, and it could be that the lights are attached to the side of a craft, or it could be that they are independent of any craft. And oddly enough, the light on the far right, when the lights started going out, the one on the far right dimmed a little, but then it went up. Didn't go down, it went up when it took off.
Like normal flares, they always go up.
Yeah, normal flares, they're dropped from an airplane so they can go higher. We don't want them going to the ground.
Right.
Oh,
yeah.
do I have that backwards? I'm sorry, I must be an idiot. That's right. Flares do not go up.
No,
not
not
only
at
that,
all.
they illuminate the areas around them. Not only that, you can see the visible smoke trails from flares very easy. You
Yeah.
don't believe me? Go to YouTube, look up military flares. You'll see many instances of them. In every case, you will see the flare dropping, and you'll see a smoke trail rising up from the flare.
You know what? You could probably do DIY by just going to the back of your automobile, pull the spare tire out, find the emergency flares in there, set it off, and then like drop it, and you'll see the smoke. It'll either go down or it'll go up.
That's right. And when you finally get out of prison from the terrible fine that the fire department imposes on you for starting that 100-acre brush fire,
In this
then you'll
green,
realize
rainy-
that perhaps you shouldn't play with flares.
Now, that brings up a story. Since the video doesn't have audio, that brings up a story. My best friend, he's like my brother. I grew up with him. I've known him my entire life. He set his backyard on fire, but it wasn't due to a flare. But the fire department definitely came out. And my dad is a firefighter as well. He's he at that time he was with the city of Sacramento, and now he's retired. City of Sacramento, of course. But my dad was less than thrilled.
I'm sure, as any firefighter would be.
But luckily, our backyard was well groomed from the horse we had and did not catch fire like his did.
And you know, there are some hoaxers that would try and, hoax an event like this by setting off things such as Chinese lanterns and things like that. And we do get a lot of videos in MUFON of Chinese lanterns. For anyone that doesn't know what they are, they're a paper spherical object with a lit candle underneath, and of course it traps the heat rising off the candle, which makes it rise like a hot air balloon into the sky. Very impressive to look at. People that don't know what they're seeing can only guess at what it might be, some slow-moving orangish orb in the night sky. But for those of us that have investigated so many of them, we're well aware what it is, and we just pray it doesn't come down in our backyard and burn our house down.
Right. Well, that was the end of the video there.
Well, I hope I've at least got enough people interested enough in these three cases to where they'll go out and investigate and do a little research on their own.
Absolutely.
Don't ever take anything anyone says for granted. Go and look it up yourself. That's how you're going to learn all the facts.
Right.
So if I've seeded a little bit of inspiration to go out and learn something tonight, then my mission has been accomplished. But again, these are my opinion of the top cases and their importance in ufology. It does not diminish the importance of any other cases, and there are many other cases that in some ways are more important, but I feel these three are the top crux, at least for me, in ufology, and they give a basis to refer other types of these types of cases to.
Well, no doubt when you come back here again soon, because you like to come back to the cafe and share new knowledge, so we definitely It's going to be a little hectic over the next couple of weeks. I am starting a new job with a new company, and I'm going to be going through training programs, and so who knows what my schedule is going to be like here in for the next couple of weeks. But we will definitely be doing as many shows as possible, and we'll get Jeff back and maybe give Jeff a couple of weeks to get together another great show. Maybe a couple of more great events.
I've already got I've got a list growing, Eric. I've got shows in the wings waiting to go. I've got a lot of stuff backed up and a lot of great presentations that I'm getting ready. I think we're going to have a lot of fun in the next few months.
Awesome. Well, thanks so much for popping by the Cosmic Cafe show this evening. Thanks for sharing the first, I'm sure, in a series of top UFO incidents and other paranormal incidents. And
sure.
So tonight we saw Roswell, we saw the Phoenix Lights, and we saw the Rendlesham forest event. And hopefully, we'll get more people in the chat room next time. We did have a few people pop in there. Appreciate them popping in. And I was able to convey a few of the questions that had popped up or they had asked. So definitely appreciate that. With that, Jeff, if you want to hang tight, you're welcome to, or if you want to hang up, you can do that as well. I'm going to go ahead and close up the show, and if you're still around, I'll chat with you for a minute or two afterwards.
All right, thanks everyone for tuning in tonight, and we'll see you next time.
See you next time, my friend. All right.
I'll be here.
Well, hey, that does it for us tonight here at the Cosmic Cafe Show. Thank you so much for tuning in to the special edition with Jeff Krause, the MUFON State Director here in California, and he definitely had a great bunch of information, well laid out, well documented. So we really appreciate that. If you've liked the show or you like the paranormal stories we had earlier today, or earlier in the show, at the beginning of the show, and you wanted to learn more about them, you can use our hashtag to search it on Twitter or Facebook, but all the ones from today were definitely on Twitter. That's our primary go-to social media site. We have 13,000 plus followers, which we super appreciate every single one of you. So thank you so much for being a follower on Twitter. And if you aren't following us yet, hey, please join in the fun and follow us on Twitter. Check out our page on Facebook and all that. Also, if you want to help out the cafe, you want to help keep us independent, you want to help keep us amped up with coffee or what have you want to throw a few ducats our way, well, you can safely do it using PayPal. Just hit the donate button on our website. Just go to any page on our website, and over on the left hand column there you'll see the donate button. We'd super appreciate that. And of course, here are our favorite hangouts, Twitter being the number one, Facebook, and then Google Plus, that thing called Instagram, still figuring that one out. And of course, most importantly, YouTube. And YouTube, make sure you click the subscribe. We're already over 700 subscribers. We were like 50 subscribers back in January. So we're growing fast. We're loving every single subscriber. Thank you. We're getting more and more questions and interaction also from our subscribers on Facebook, and we try and get back with you as quick as possible if you ask us a question there as well. So thank you so much for everybody tuning in. Thank you so much again, Jeff Krause with MUFON. And with that, I am going to say goodnight to you, and we will see you tomorrow night, 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern.